Welcome back. We are gonna just take a quick trip up to Mongrel, see if we can get a bunch of food because our food stores are getting worryingly low. We do have Jewel crafting food, but it's just not gonna sustain us. She's not gonna be able to craft up in time to feed our group. So let's just go ahead and do this right now. And just to be safe, it looks like these guys actually managed to spawn correctly, but just to be safe, let's just have them run here, grab this group, run them through the door. And then we'll just make everybody sneak. And we'll head on to Mongrel. Wondering if we can cut just across this way. Try it out. Probably safer up here. There's a whole bunch of fogmen. Well, we're in a good position to fight them. It's kind of annoying, but... It looks like it's mostly normal fogmen, so we should be okay. Wow, Crumble John. Taking a dive there. Poor Crumble John. Keeps getting lifted up by the fogmen to steal them. And then when they go down, he just keeps getting tossed around. We do have some heavies coming in, so that is a problem. It looks like Crumble John is up, so we're going to tell him to first aid himself so he doesn't pass out and die. Looks like Shrike fell down. Oh, she's okay. Have her first aid herself. Okay. So it looks like everyone's kind of healed up. Hopefully we can just heal up without anyone else coming to attack us. But I guess it's good to show that, even though we're no longer unencumbered and we don't have wooden backpacks on and we're much better at fighting than we once were, a large group of fogmen can still do some serious damage. It does look like there's one coming up, but we'll see if he bothers us or not. Actually, looks like a couple are coming. They're just regular fogmen, though, so... Let's try to keep everyone together for now. And I think as long as we can avoid the heavies, we'll be in good shape here. That guy looks like he's running away, so let's just focus on this last guy here. Come on, guy. Alright, let's heal up a second time. You know, my original plan was if things went well, to head on to other towns as well to get more food, but it doesn't look like it's in the cards. More fogmen. There's a heavy. Not great. There's never a heavy coming, but he's already fairly well injured, so you should make short work of him. Another heavy coming in. I don't know how they spot us from so far away. Maybe it's because it's the middle of the day. I'll have to relook at the tape. Let's get back together and heal. Fresh heavy's coming in as well. It actually isn't looking too great. We'll have Dak Chung heal himself. All right. Let's see if we can leap now. Jesus. I feel like we just took on half the Fog Islands there. All right, let's sneak and let's move on. Now, assuming, I guess the smart move would probably be to turn back, but we are running low on food, so we really don't have that option. We've got a prince. It doesn't look like he wants to fight us, so that's some good news. Let's not sneak anymore. I guess the smart move would be to rest up in the ninja tower. However, I just don't feel great about it. What with the Thagna being able to come in and steal you. So let's just buy the stuff like we said we wanted to do, and we'll move on from there. I am going to check out this trader shop though, because now that we have storage, we might as well consider buying a bunch of finished goods, like buying a bunch of steel. And a bunch of cloth. We're gonna need so much steel and cloth, it's not even funny. The rest of this stuff, not really that important. I guess we could buy chain sheets, armor plating as well. I don't know how much chain armor we're gonna be making. And armor plating is pretty easy to knock out. So I don't want to spend all our money on goods. So let's go to the various bars and buy up all the food. Also, I know we were here already on a past recruiting run, but man, if I could find just a couple more skeletons, I just feel so much better about a lot of things. I'm also kind of flirting with the idea of hiring mercs, right? But until we kind of have a good source of food, I don't want to buy anybody that eats food because that could be its own problem. Um, don't quite know why Crumble John has his wheat on him, but that's fine. And we're just going to buy all the food. I guess it would have been smarter to bring a actual wooden backpack so we could stack. But hindsight's 2020. So we've blown through most of our cash on this food run. I guess that means if we can't support enough of ourselves on what we grow, we're going to have some serious problems. I think we will, though, because I think that for every one in this climate that we're in at right now, we should be getting like 6 to 7 dust witches from every cactus and wheat straw field we've gotten. We've got 4 of them, so that's 24. And this is 6, 10. We have exactly 24. So I think that eventually we are going to hit that happy medium, especially with this extra food coming in. But you never know, you know. In which case, I guess we have to emergency mine a bunch of copper, sell that here for more food, and then keep on mining for copper to sell for food until we reach such a point. I mean, we also have some electrics we can sell, but we'd have to keep mining copper and selling it until we had kind of enough food that we have runway to build more farms, maybe assign another farmer. We'll see how it all pans out. Oh my gosh, there's already a fight out here. Jesus. What is going on here? Bunch of heavies, too. All right, let's heal up. We did our civic duty here. All right, now let's try to get out of here. They're ornery today. They're very ornery. I mean, this has honestly been our most dangerous trip since we've been in the Foglands, if you think about it. Thankfully, we are much better prepared for all that nonsense. Okay, we got another fight here. I guess we could put Humut down. And let's keep moving on. Alright, so it looks like we're under attack again by a whole bunch of Fogmen. Griffin went down and Doc Chung went down. He's running away. So we'll have Doc Chung heal himself. We'll let this guy run away. We'll deal with these guys that are still fighting. Okay, so it looks like we beat everybody that we needed to. And I'll have Lurking pick up Griffin. Alright, let's try to get home. Come on, guys, we're so close. I don't know why y'all decided to not pick up Griffin, but let's fix that real quick. So it looks like we can cut across here in the future, and that's good to know. So let's open up the door. Run inside. Close the door. I'm going to have Solman actually prioritize engineering above everything else. So he should come and fix this gate when it's broken. As for the rest of these guys, I mean, we're all safe, but let's just mess around with the squads one more time here. Just so everyone has enough to eat who's on the turrets. We'll grab these guys. We'll turn on their jobs. Hopefully, they'll drop off all the food and go back to work. As for Griffin, I think we should build at least one bed for him. And so now that we do have some cloth, maybe we tell Doc Chung. Well, what do we need to build a bed? One building material and 4 fabric. Right. Let's build a bed. Perfect. And Doc Chunk can go back to work. We'll have Lurking put Griffin in bed. And then Griffin can just get up on his own when he feels better. Alright, that was a little more intense than I thought it would go. But we do have some dust witches coming in. I am going to drop off all of this food as well into the main bin. Well as in this bread basket. Might as well start dropping all this stuff off. Probably should have bought some meds when I was out, but I'll remember that next time. I'm actually going to leave, like, the cooked vegetables. Maybe one of these rices on him, so if he gets hungry, he doesn't get up and just start eating. Bring Crumble John over. I have no idea why he's got this wheat. That's fine. Okay. I think we're in a pretty good position here. We're just going to start grinding out materials. Lurking is at 76 armor smith. We want to get him to, like, I don't know, like 85. So we'll keep grinding out just the basics here. And hopefully in the meantime we'll get a nice supply of iron, cloth, and whatnot. Also, I believe that knife, we've only got 3 people working these items, so we'll have knife switch over to the iron refinery. We'll have Doc Chung just finish off the stone that's in there. I'm also almost inclined to just put Doc Chung, to have Doc Chung forget about stone processing altogether, and then just have him use this fabric loom. We're starting to get a backlog of this hemp, but what we really need is cloth, so let's do that. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy with the job assignments. It looks like our food is starting to come in, so that's a relief. And we'll see. Okay, so it looks like Jewel is also kind of stuck. certainly impede her ability to cook stuff. So much stuff Jewel could be doing, right? There we go. All right, so I guess lesson learned. I shouldn't have built the stove so close to the bread oven. We'll have to keep an eye on that. If it becomes a real problem, we'll just demolish it and replace it. But right now, I'm just more concerned about getting our food stocks up to a sustainable level because we're almost out of cash at this point. I don't want to switch over to like subsistence mining again. I want to get the base of the materials we need to get the higher tier, to craft the higher tier weapons and armor. And if I'm being honest, I don't know how useful recording all of this, because you know what everyone's doing. They're either mining, creating iron plates, creating steel plates, weaving. And I guess we can put as a backup. He runs out of stuff to do. He can use his own processor. We've got, we're getting the fabrics up. We're getting chain mail up, just so we can get the lurking skill up and armor plates for future stuff. So I don't know how useful it is to keep on having a recording of this. So I think I might actually just stop the recording altogether and just play offline for a little bit. And I think that's what I'm going to do. And when we have kind of a critical mass of items to start crafting with, when we skill up to the necessary levels, or if, God forbid, we actually can't keep up with our food consumption, then I'll start recording again. So it's about 5 days later. We've gotten Lurking's Armorsmith skill up to 81. I realized that once you hit 80, you guarantee crafting of specialist grade armor with a crit success chance of masterwork. Obviously, the higher that your armor skill gets over 80, the better your chances of critting to a masterwork are. But I just didn't want to keep, like making stuff just for the sake of skilling up, because really we're kind of facing some constraints here in our colony in that if we hire more people, we need to be able to feed them. But unless we automate some of these steps, like the grain silo, for instance, that seems to be our bottleneck, we're not going to be able to feed more people. And frankly, there's only one more skeleton out there that I know that's guaranteed. So I think that we just have to start gearing up now and then go out and find some ancient science books. And for instance, I think what we've really got to go for is hydroponics, which I guess we can do now. But then we would also have to do hydroponic vegetables and hydroponic wheat straw, or hydroponic vegetables and hydroponic rice. I guess at that point it doesn't really matter. Uh, so we're kind of constrained in that matter. Now, in terms of our food situation, we're doing okay. I think things have stabilized. We'll have to see once we eat through this other food that we're not producing. But I'm feeling pretty good about the state of our food. We did do some changes to the base. One, Jewel kept getting stuck behind the bread oven because it was too close to the cooking stove. So I had to move that, and I just moved the bread basket over here. Also, Greenfinger kept getting stuck on the barrels that were against the wall. So I had to move them off and transfer all the stuff that was. For some reason, things aren't being, cactuses or cacti aren't being moved to the cactus storage barrel. I can't figure it out. So really what that means is Jewel, just rather than having to run to here, she has to run to all the way to maybe over here, pick up the cacti, which slows down food production. But I actually think we're doing okay for food. And so that crisis has been averted. Now, what I did was I took Lurking lately off of the chainmail crafting bench, and I'm gonna have him start pumping out these leather turtlenecks, followed by leather high vests, probably followed by dust coats until we actually run out of leather, which I imagine will happen. We've got about 214. I'm guessing with like half the amount of leather we need just for all that. But we'll find out soon enough. And when we run out of leather, lurking will go back to just banging out armor plating, and then that'll be my signal to know, oh, okay, we have to go and start hunting some animals for leather. So I've got lurking working on the armor. Part of the problem with doing all that chain sheet crafting is that we really didn't get much in the way of steel bars. We've got a decent amount of cloth of fabrics lined up, but not a lot of steel bars. So I'm gonna let things run without anybody using steel bars, and I'm gonna use Shrike to basically be our engineer, and I'm gonna slowly replace all of these crossbows, these mounted crossbows, with Mark II turrets. Just because we are going to be reaching a point soon where we're going to have to leave the base for extended periods. And so that's kind of the plan. But before we unpause, obviously, we'll open the door. We'll tell everybody, oh, sorry, we'll tell all these guards just to run out here just in case. It looks like that's not an issue. I did tell Green go and operate the copper over here while they're working on his turret. And then I'll do the same thing with all these other guys until we replace all the turrets. So let's close the gate. And it looks like Soman's actually dismantling this. Let's take Soman off of engineering. And we'll use Shrike. Just because I want Soman pumping out those iron plates. Now we also are going to take Silver Shade off of this turret and have him go onto this one. Because this one's getting dismantled. The other thing I noticed is that we're actually starting to pile up more iron plates. And we're going to reach that 1,000 capacity limit. And we're actually slowly going up in raw iron as well. This should go faster now that Shrike's not beat armor plates out. So what that means is I think that once we come close to hitting that 1,000 mark, I'll just basically check every morning. I think I'm going to throw down a second steel plant and then have one of these miners stop mining and start working this other steel bar plant, because we really are going to have to push out a lot of steel bars so that Shrike can do her job and start making better weapons for our guys. So that's kind of the plan for right now. Let's get to it. All right, so dismantling this gets us a bunch of iron plates. Electrical components. She can't pick up all this stuff because she's got a bunch of iron on her. So let's fix that. Let's pull Shrike back. Sweet baby Jesus, Shrike, what are you doing? I'm gonna turn off her job so she stops trying to drop everything off. And so what have we got here? We've got 7 iron plates and 1 electrical. And let's see what we need for those Mark II turrets. 3 steel bars, 10 plates, 1 electrical, and 4 copper. Just make a note of that. Throw it down. So she needs 3 steel bars. And copper plates. 4 coppers. Well, I think maybe we should actually switch out her backpack just so she can do this a little more efficiently. It's going to be a little bit of painful inventory management now, but it'll be worth it. So 10 iron, 4 copper, 3 steel. We actually need some copper, so we'll give her the job to mine the copper along with green. And Shrike already has the copper she needs. And really, I don't mind that it's taking her longer than it would take someone like Soman to build, because we're actually trying to increase, well, my original plan was to increase the amount of steel bars we have, but it looks like these Mark II turrets require steel bars, so I don't know how much more we'll gain. But I'm trying to just kind of pad out how much Shrike can work with when she starts working on her weapons. Okay. We're going to turn off her jobs, move Sadniel over to this, and just go on down the list. Oh, see, this one just got through somehow. I don't know how. Ah, you see, because they were fighting, so he probably got staggered in. Okay, no worries. But that's a good example of how they can just kind of sneak in. We don't want these guys shooting because we don't want to hit each other. So let's have him, have Borland attack. We're going to have Puhat pulled off and attack. By it's saying shoot at, let's just move Borland closer, I guess. We'll have Shrike attack. And some more guys are coming up to help out. Okay. Let's look at how everyone's doing. So, Puhat's fine. He can get back on this. Borlane can prepare himself. Break is fine, so she can go back to building. Yes. We also should pull this guy out because he might jump up. So maybe we grab Borlane, pick him up. Maybe he's not going automatically to his job because we got rid of that old turret. Yeah, that's why. So in fact, we should get rid of all of their jobs. Okay. Now we'll grab Shrike and we'll bring her back in, start crafting weapons. And we'll also grab Headshot. Tell him to stop mining copper. And the turret. Okay. So I think we're going to run out of steel. But I think we'll get around that by building another steel refinery and having someone work that instead. In terms of food, it looks like we've kind of gotten over the hump. So maybe we can start hiring more people. I'm open to that. I mean, we could get a whole other row of iron refineries, and then that can feed a second steel refinery, and then we would never run out. We could probably put in a third one too at this rate. And then we also have another iron node here. We could have 3 people work. But let's hold off on that now. Let's talk about crafting weapons. Our first turtlenecks are coming in. We can make all sorts of weapons. I ended up going for a combat cleaver. We're going to go Katoon number 3. And let's just get it for our main combat guys. So in this case, it'll be 10, 11, 12, 13, 16. 16 of them. And then we'll also go for the short cleaver, Katoon number 3. We'll make 16 of those. Because my reasoning is that these guys are never going to leave the base. So we can just give them the best katanas we have, because the only guys that are really going to conceivably be fighting is Fogmen. Assuming something terrible doesn't happen, our gates aren't busted down. But even then, it'll probably just be cannibals. And then the same thing for our guys on the walls. Conceivably, the worst thing that they're going to fight is Fogmen and cannibals. So a katana works perfectly fine against them. So all these guys who have better katanas can just trade them down and replace them with the cleavers. Again, I know that cleavers aren't the most loved weapons in the game. They tend to be shorter than the other long blades or the two-handed weapons. There's a whole mess of reasons why people don't like them. I like them because they have that extra punch against robots. We're going to be fighting a lot of robots soon. It also does kind of an even amount of bleed and cut damage, which I like because it'll train up both strength and agility when people fight. Now, we're going to be a little bit weaker when we start using these combat cleavers because our strength isn't up there and we have no skill in cleavers whatsoever. But I think it's just worth it to switch over now and just train strength by use. We've got basically Shrike doing that as well. Probably give her the actual job though, right? So she'll operate the weaponsmith, And then if she runs out of things to do, she can go back to beating iron plates as well. We're gonna go back to Solman, and we're gonna give him the engineering job. We're gonna put that first again. I guess he'll repair the gate, which is good. And then he should come back and finish off that plate beating station. Well as these lights, hope. So there's some problems happening here. Not quite sure what's going on with him. We'll figure it out in a second. Bring him upstairs. Maybe that's the problem. Okay. So someone should be good to go back to work. And again, we'll tell Shrike that if she runs out of things to do, you can just beat plates as well. So we'll be able to keep an eye out to see if they've run out of materials. I really feel also like we should go ahead and build another steel station because I have the feeling they're going to run through it real quick. Let's go ahead and do that. Another steel refinery. Right here. Someone needs 30 iron plates. I think this is a good time to switch over to a wooden backpack. And we can also switch Shrike back to her regular backpack. Excellent. So we've got another steel refinery running. Let's pull someone off of this group here. Like, let's grab Hamut. And we'll take him off of iron mining. Have him run this machine. And this way, I don't think we're going to max out on iron plates anytime soon. We'll just run them down and just have more steel bars coming. And so we're starting to get our leather turtlenecks in, which is great. Lurking's moving up in armor smithing. That's good. And how are we doing on stuff like leather? We're doing okay so far. I think we're probably gonna have to do a hunting mission, which is fine. But hopefully by that time, we'll have some of our initial weapons built. So I'm looking forward to that. We're getting model Mark 1s, which is not ideal. I'm not quite sure why that is. Is it because we don't have the higher weapon grades? Yep, we don't have these advanced weapon grades, right? So what that means is we're gonna. I think we only got as far as weapon grade 2, so she's critting to Mark 1. But if we want better weapons, we're going to have to get more science. That's not necessarily the worst thing, because what it means is sorry, I was just wondering how that guy got through, but whatever. What it means is she's gonna make the weapons a lot faster because they don't take as much material or time to work, get to those higher grades, and and so it's gonna be fast. It's gonna be done faster. It's gonna take less material. It's also gonna weigh less, which is a good thing because our guy's strength isn't that high. So these can be like our training blades, and then when we actually get enough science books to get to the higher weapon grades, and so on and so forth, then we can go ahead and reforge kind of our final blade. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that the name of the game now was just to gear up as quickly as possible, get out there, get some more science books from ancient sites, and possibly get more, hire more people because it looks like we are moving up in terms of food. But let's also check these guys, make sure they're fed, grab them some more food. Silver Shade back. He's good with food. Okay. Again, I don't think that there's much point in me recording a lot of this because we're pretty much on cruise control here. Till we have all these blades made and all this armor made, we're probably not going to move. So I think I'm just going to spend the next however many days it takes just watching time fly by. And when we come back with a new episode, we're going to be all kitted out. We'll sell off our gear. We'll go hunting. There may be a chance that we're going to run out of something like leather, in which case, then we'll take a hunting trip and I may just show that as well. But until then, hope you enjoyed this and hope you have a wonderful day.